What up, y'all? Welcome to the High Chicago Sports Edition. I'm joined here with these two idiots,
Damn.
especially
Damn.
Joshua Vince in there. How you doing today, JV? Because
Well,
I
it's
see you ain't
beautiful.
bring none of your shit.
It's beautiful here in Los Angeles. You know how we do.
You're in
So,
LA. What are you covering? The Dodgers, the Lakers, Clippers, Angels.
well, yeah, I covered the Clips Grizz yesterday. That was good. Jaron Jackson Jr. returned, and that was amazing. And
Okay, I don't
then,
care about the
Oh, we don't
Grizzlies. I
know
was
what none of
asking
that.
about
Anyway,
LA based shit, but no problem.
yeah.
oh, okay. Well, I mean, I'm just down here in SoCal, chilling. I'm gonna go to Roscoe's later, so I'm just in SoCal.
Some chicken and waffles.
Yeah.
Okay.
You should have probably gone to one of the vegan spots, my dude.
No, I'm too fat for vegan. But continue,
Clearly. Sean, my good buddy. Sean, how
bastards.
you doing, bro?
Bro, I'm fucking solid, bro. I'm actually really excited. This is the first time, probably in the history of High Chicago, dead ass, no matter what edition it is, that JV is not wearing the same shit.
This is true.
I fucking love the Dodgers blue on you, bro. It looks really fucking good.
And
I
I got
think what
Mookie's
happened. Oh,
Mookie.
this guy. I think what happened was that it was too hot to wear that same hoodie, so he just
No,
decided to.
actually, it was cold
Oh,
as hell
did you?
out here in California.
Oh my god!
But I'm proud of you, brother. This is growth. You guys are witnessing High Chicago history. You guys listen to High Chicago history, right? The first time in probably 90 episodes combined that JV is doing some different shit. I appreciate you, my guy, honestly.
I did it
There
just
you
for
go.
you. I went to the store and thought, let me look different for you.
Shout out to LA.
Yep.
Hey, you
Shout out
drinking
to the
smart water?
Dodgers.
Yeah, this
Were
what
you
we
bougie,
doing.
ain't it?
Yeah, this what we
Okay.
doing.
Hashtag not a sponsor. Let's calm that down.
Also
Oh yeah,
facts.
yeah,
My
right, right.
man's is out here just putting brands out there.
Exactly.
No,
But hey,
we're not.
if they want to sponsor us,
Oh, for
we
sure, but we're
here.
not doing this for free.
Oh well, I mean,
What are you talking about?
Big facts.
big
It's
facts.
about the money.
What we talking about
Anyway,
today, bro? What's good?
so we're
What's
gonna
going on,
talk
Ray?
about the NBA. All right. So NBA season's quickly coming to a close.
Yeah,
Most teams have about
JV, you good?
15 or so games.
that was Aaron. I'm chilling. That was his ass over there falling and
My
shit.
bad. Your hand was with some weird motion, so we're good.
Oh, my bad.
Anyway, the play-in tournament scheduled for May 18th, which brings us to the topic at hand, which is probably the biggest debate when it comes to end of season awards, and it's the MVP. But before we get into that, I do want to ask you guys, how do you define MVP? And JB, we'll start with you.
How do I define MVP? I look at the most electrifying player that's playing in the league right now. So I won't name his name until you ask me who I'm choosing. But I'm
Right?
looking at the guy that is either leading league in points, is one of the most influential players on their team, both on and off the court, and is really being a trailblazer, if you will, in in
So do
the
wins mean
association.
anything to you? Because it seems like you only name things like stats and global impact.
I'm gonna
And
be
also,
honest.
how does global impact make you the most valuable player in a season? Because I don't think
Because
that
this is
that has
about
to do anything either.
Okay, but
because this is
what
about a
this
season.
is
And
about
also, being
Specifically.
electric doesn't necessarily make you the most valuable player. Also,
I mean, okay, fair, and fair. But what I'm basically saying is to answer your question, Aaron, to a certain extent, yes, I think wins are important, but I think you could be like on a team that's on the up and coming, and you may not necessarily have a winning record, but you could be playing phenomenal basketball. You think of like Westbrook when he was getting all those triple doubles. It wasn't like anybody thought they were going
Right.
to go to the finals or anything. But at the
Yeah.
same time, he was the best player in the association.
That's the
they were
first
probably
time
a 6 seed at worst, maybe.
they were the sixth seed. They were, and that was the first time in the past 40 years in which a team that was outside of the top four had an MVP.
So it's an anomaly.
Well,
Yeah, so it's
the
not
person,
it's not the regular.
well, the
But
person I'm
anyway,
using is the
before we
Atlantic.
get to that,
Oh, okay.
Sean, how do you define MVP?
My criteria is very simple, right? Um, do you make your team better, right?
Okay.
Does everybody around you improve? Um, do players grow, right? Because of you and your leadership? Are you available, right? So are you there for your
That's a
team
big one.
majority of the games that you play? And then does your team record improve based on your acquisition or your growth as a player in general? Right. So those
Okay.
things to me make you valuable, right? But the big thing is making others around you better and making the record improve year over year.
I
Okay.
co-sign on that.
I can see that. So my criteria is similar to yours, Sean, but I do factor into that, is your team a winning team? Because that
Mm,
matters, I think, more than anything. Because if you're talking about an MVP is the player who contributes the most to winning.
Yes, a fact. So I'm sorry, let me be specific too. When I say make your team better and improve your record, I also mean, yes, you were playing for a winning franchise that season. I agree with that.
Okay.
So both of you guys are basically saying, hey, the team must be a winning team.
For sure.
To be the most valuable player in the league.
Because there have been some seasons where, let's even go back to Kevin Love's breakout season where he was averaging like 26 and 16.
And Minnesota?
His team sucked. Yeah, his team sucked. I would have loved for him to at least have made the playoffs. I think it would have been a very interesting case for MVP. But when your team doesn't win,
you can't be the most valuable anything.
I feel that
on the league spectrum. But I'm actually curious to know who JV's pick is, right? I think I have an idea, but it doesn't sound like it's a person on a winning basketball team. Correct me if I'm wrong, though.
So, John, just go ahead and put it out there, bro.
Well, this man was asked about it in the press conference, and he said, quote, I mean, I gotta be, but I probably won't get it, but it's whatever. And that was Stephen Curry. Stephen Curry, who's already won 2 NBA MVP awards.
Wait, he was asked what?
He was asked about, MVP, being an MVP of the league.
Okay, so Josh Vincent, if I ask you, should you be the MVP? You're probably gonna say yeah, right? And you'll probably find some reason why you should be MVP. Who's gonna say no?
But his stats. No. That's
I mean, stats on everything. But go ahead.
Status to death, though. Go ahead, status to death.
Boy, you can see him looking at that piece of paper. Boy, he has it.
I feel like
he has it.
Am I the new Mary Claire on this show? I feel like I'm doing that. I'm just saying, look, he's leading the NBA with 31.4 points. He's also averaging 5.9 assists, 5.5 rebounds per game, and he's also shooting 43.1% from the 3. And also, he is 92.2% from the free throw line. Now, yes, granted, they are the 9th seed, right behind the Memphis Grizzlies. So
I think that matters.
What the Grizzlies do.
Tell me why that doesn't matter.
To me, it doesn't matter given the circumstances of which is his team. Klay Thompson got injured this year.
Right.
So I'm thinking, if Steph Curry is having a phenomenal year and he's doing great, he's leading the league in points and, he's crashing the stats. My question is, do we penalize him and not say, well, you cannot be the MVP because your second in command, Klay Thompson, unfortunately suffered another season-ending injury. I just feel like we shouldn't penalize Steph for that. But, I agree with what you guys are saying at the same time.
So this is who you believe should be the MVP, though.
Yeah, I'm voting for Steph Curry. If somebody says we'll cash your ballot.
So you're talking about, your criteria for him was that he's a stat monster.
Yes.
Correct?
Electrifying.
Like the Rock. Very impactful outside of basketball for whatever reason. I don't know why you just did a people's eyebrow, but you lifted it with your finger. It's weird.
I could do it naturally, but
But he's not playing for a winning team
at the moment. But what do you call?
But hold on. I'm not.
Okay, go ahead.
So my player, and I'm gonna go being before Sean.
So before you go to yours though, like, is JV completely wrong in his thought process?
Yes, and I'm gonna tell you why, which ties into my player.
Okay.
So right now he's the odds-on favorite, and it's a massive lead that he has right now. Nikola Jokic right now, he's balling out. His team just lost his second in command.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how it goes for the rest of the season, but it's his award to lose. And right now he's playing winning basketball for a winning team while still being that stat monster that you claim that Steph Curry is.
Now the Nuggets roster is better than the Warriors roster.
Oh, no, absolutely.
For sure.
But it seems like the Warriors threw as much as they could at the wall to try to have enough of a cohesive team around Steph Curry with Wiggins and Draymond, who's having an abysmal season. I'll give you that. But I just feel that the way that Jokic is playing right now and the way that he's contributing essentially to a winning environment has way more impact than what Steph Curry has done so far.
So I agree with that 100%. And JV, to kind of go back to your player, right? The Warriors are the 9th seed. I think, Aaron, you mentioned that, right? They're a game below 500 right now, right?
Yep.
And there's only a 3.5 game difference between the Warriors and the 9th seed and the 11th seed where they missed the play-in tournament, right?
Yep.
So Steph Curry has played in 51 out of 59 games. So it's not like he's been unavailable. He's been there. His roster around him isn't great. But again, when you're the most valuable player, the top dog in the league, as far as value goes, you got to be able to elevate your squad no matter what. And I'll
Mhm.
never forget the year LeBron took fucking Big Z and Drew Gooden and Larry Hughes and them to the fucking finals.
A
Right.
scrub team. An
Right.
absolute scrub team.
But my point is that MVP type shit with a scrub ass team is possible.
Absolutely.
Different
I mean,
time. I get that was like 12, 15 years ago, so I get that.
We saw it with Iverson in 2001. We saw it with Westbrook in 2017. So we know it can be possible. But right now, the way that Steph Curry's team is performing, it doesn't seem feasible to say that he's the MVP of the NBA.
So for somebody who tends to nut every time Joel Embiid's name gets dropped, Aaron,
Oh no,
I thought
no.
that you were gonna say Joel Embiid. I'm be honest with you.
So you brought up a good point. You brought up a good point earlier, and that's the availability aspect of it. And if you look at Joel Embiid this season, he hasn't exactly been available.
No, he's missed 25% of the games already.
Yeah, which has always been a problem with him as a player. And so while yes, he's also contributing to a winning environment there. What they have one more win than the Nuggets have, the Sixers do. But I don't think that him missing those games gives him enough of a resume essentially to win the MVP over Jokic, who's been there every game, whose team is winning. It's atop their number 4 seed right now. And his numbers, essentially, they're comparable. So that's just how it works.
So I agree with that, right? My thing is with Jokic, right? I know he's putting up a career high across the boards, points, assists, rebounds. The Nuggets are on pace to be slightly better than last season. Now, Murray's out. I think they're 4-0 since Murray got hurt. So that's good for Jokic right there, right? But last season, they were the 3 seed at 46-27, right? You see, right now, they're the 4 seed.
Different season.
I get it. You're going to feed me the bubble.
And I have every right to, do I not?
The Nuggets still outperformed expectations going into the season, period. Right? So Jokic is dope. And I can see why he's the odds-on favorite, right? Because of the career highs across the board and the fact that he's playing out of his fucking mind and the Nuggets are doing good. But I don't see him as the most valuable.
Okay. So who do you believe is the most valuable?
So I'm going to throw a name out there that might not even be in ESPN's top 5.
I'm hoping it's the guy who I really want.
But for me, the most valuable player, when I take everything into consideration, is Phoenix Suns point guard Chris Paul.
Interesting choice. So that was not on my radar whatsoever.
That's very interesting.
So the Suns were 5 games below 500 last season, right, at 34-39. We know they snapped in the bubble. I get that, but they still missed the playoffs. Right now, the Suns are second in a loaded Western Conference at 42-16, right? Not only that, Chris Paul was their major acquisition from last season, right? Other than Jay Crowder. Everybody else just had another year of growth. Ayton, Booker, Bridges, the young boys, right? So in 1920, offensively, their efficiency rank was 12th. And this season, they're up to 6th. Right?
What year did you just say, my good brother?
2019, 2020.
Oh, okay.
Right? Their shit was ranked 12th, and now they're up to 6th. Defensively, last year, they were ranked 16th. This year, they're 6th. Right? Chris Paul's been available, played in 57 out of 58 games. He is close to the elusive 50-40-90 club, which those of you that don't know, it's 50% shooting from the field, 40% from 3, and 90% from the free throw line.
He's going to fall very short on threes.
He's shooting 37.5%. Yeah. So I'm not going to say very short.
Yeah.
But
it's going to take a lot of made threes over the end of the season.
And there's still a lot of season left, right? I think they've got 15 to 18 games left. We'll see. Some people talk to me about how Devin Booker has improved. He has. But if you look at his splits from this season to last season, hasn't really changed much.
It's the same.
Chris Paul is a winner wherever he goes. He took the Clippers from being dog shit to Lob City, making the playoffs consistently, right? He took a nothing-ass OKC team where people thought he was going to get traded at the trade deadline to the playoffs, right? He helped Harden get to the fucking Western Conference Finals multiple times. And again, Phoenix hasn't made the playoffs since, I want to say, 2010 or 11. And now, again, they're the 2 seed in the Western Conference. So you tell me why Chris Paul should not be MVP.
So I think the reason he shouldn't be MVP is, and I'm going to tie this into football, is the same reason why Zeke wasn't the rookie of the year when he was on the same team with Dak Prescott. He has another player on his team. He has another top 20, I'd say, player on his team who also might garner some votes, end up siphoning votes from him.
Devin Booker is not going to get MVP votes. If that's who you're referring
I think
to.
he will. I think he'll get some third or fourth place votes.
Between Giannis, Harden, Paul, Embiid, Jokic, and Steph Curry, he's not getting any fucking votes.
So here's how this works, Sean. I don't know if you know this, right? Mm-hmm. Is that media members?
Oh, yep, go ahead. Go ahead.
They vote on this,
right?
And they have something like 6 votes. Is it, JV?
Okay.
You're a media member, so
and they're all gonna go to Chris Paul.
No, they're not.
Okay.
Even in the years where LeBron won the MVP on the team with D Wade still got MVP votes, even though no one in their right mind would have thought that D Wade was the MVP of that team.
No, but if you reached hard enough, you could make the case. You could. There's no case.
Also make the case on this. Why couldn't you
make one?
He's leading them in scoring.
He did that last year.
Right, but they're a winning team now, Sean.
Because of Chris Paul, my guy. Yes, Chris Paul's the difference.
So it's only Chris Paul.
I think Sean got a point.
They won their last what was it, 12 games last season?
8.
Or 8 games. Okay,
they missed the playoffs and they were 5 games below 500 total. What are we doing here?
Anyway, it's a year of improvement. Devin Booker is essentially the face of that team. Even though you'd like for it to be Chris Paul's there for the first time.
We're not talking about the same thing. Being the face of the team and being the most valuable player are not the same thing.
That matters a lot to media members, Sean. I think that's what you're missing here. Is that beat writers, they vote on these MVP awards. Mm-hmm. And those beat writers are going to look at this team and say, they're going to be casuals. A lot of them are going to be the ones who are just interviewing. They're going to be the JVs of those beat writing rooms.
Right.
And they're going to, and they're going to look at the stat sheet and they're going to see the same thing that JV brought up when he brought up Steph Curry.
Right.
Oh, he's scoring a lot.
Right.
So this guy must be the one who's contributing the most to winning on this team.
These are more than likely the same ass beat writers from last season who've seen the same ass Devin Booker stats from last season, which is the same ass stats he's putting up this season. There is one major difference. Just one.
Chris Paul.
JV, go ahead. Split the difference.
I don't know if you think he should be the MVP? I agree with Sean. No, I agree with Sean. The case Sean makes a really great point. Despite how electrifying and dominant Devin Booker has been with the Phoenix Suns, and like you say, they were a few games outside of 500 making into the playoffs last year, Chris Paul has definitely been the difference there. And Sean is right. I mean, this is the second best team in a loaded Western Conference. They're only a game and a half behind the Jazz, which means they could very well be the number 1 seed in the NBA in the Western Conference. So you got to credit that to Chris Paul, especially if Devin Booker's splits are looking identical.
Which they are.
So I'll concede that Chris Paul will get some votes, but I also think that Devin Booker will get some votes. Or a vote. Not some votes, 1 vote.
All right, I'm not about to fucking wager if he gets 1 fucking vote.
I mean, you said he won't get any votes.
He shouldn't.
So here's how we're but Sean, that wasn't the case I was making. Is should he?
Either way, it's a dumbass case.
That he will.
It's a poor case. Chris Paul MVP this season. Lock it up.
Why don't you go buy some billboards for him then?
All right, bet. Fuck it, bro. I'll go fight a fucking Phoenix and put that shit up, bro. Take your ass to Denver while you're at it, bro.
You don't need to campaign in Phoenix. They know who the hell he is. Campaign out here.
According to you, they only know D Book. So
no, I'm not saying they only, but they will give him a vote.
So JV, I'm gonna give you a chance to reevaluate your Steph Curry fucking vote when you get a second. I'm gonna reevaluate that, please.
I mean, I'm still sticking with Steph because I'm a stat-driven guy. I'm one of those fake-ass beat writers.
All right, so the stat 29 and 30 means nothing to you, right? That's a stat too.
No,
because that's their record. Just so you know, 29 and 30. That's their record.
I'm aware. I'm looking at it. They're right there behind the Memphis Grizzlies,
right?
Who lost to the Clippers yesterday without Kawhi.
What I'm saying is
Paul George.
They're 3 losses out of being the 3 losses away from being out of the play-in tournament. That's all I'm saying. You can't really have that be your MVP.
No, JV, you're out of your mind for your fucking vote.
I mean,
Aaron,
that's
your
fair.
vote's logical, and it's the odds-on favorite right now, right? So you're not going to win any money really if you vote Jokic for MVP.
No.
But I think mine is the most logical. But hey,
You
we'll
have-
see.
you
We'll
have
see.
a good
It's almost
point.
over.
I like the Chris Paul. I like the Chris Paul argument. Or case.
It's an interesting argument out of left field. It's one I didn't expect. I just want to take this time to bring up just one more name, and I know it's even more of a long shot than Sean's, but I like the way this guy's been playing this season, and I'm actually amazed that his team is even good. And it's Julius Randle. So the case you
the Mecca.
So the case you made for Chris Paul, like I said, I made a counter case that he has a secondary player who's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Name the second best player on the Knicks.
If we're talking stats specifically, I would have to say Derrick Rose.
You're gonna go Derrick Rose.
I can't unless RJ Barrett. I don't know RJ Barrett's stats off the top of my head.
He's not doing well.
Okay,
he's not doing well.
Derrick Rose has been snapping the fuck off.
He's been playing decent.
Obi's been trash.
No.
He's been trash. Okay.
Now Julius Randle, I'll probably put in the top 10, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
So I'm just gonna help you out here, JD.
But he's been balling.
You're a stats driven guy, right? So
help me out.
I'm gonna help you out. The number 2 player on the team in terms of PER is actually Nerlens Noel.
Shit. Okay.
That's essentially his second best teammate right now. And they're the number 4 seed in the Eastern Conference at 33-27, which it seems illogical when you look at what's happening. They're doing it with defense.
That's Tibbs' calling card, though.
Exactly.
And they bought into Tibbs' plan.
Yeah.
And Julius Randle is essentially a one-man show out there every game.
Blossomed.
It's amazing. And
I love to see it, bro. Honestly, he's not going to get MVP votes the way he potentially should. Now we'll see how the Knicks finish in the Eastern Conference standings. But yeah, it is Julius Randle's and them.
Yeah,
coached by Tibbs.
Exactly.
Shout out to my boy.
It's April 22nd right now, and they're in the midst of an 8-game winning streak. So I just wanted to put that out there.
They have the longest winning streak right now in the league, and also they had a report out in New York that Tibbs had to shut down practice, and the guys were like, "Damn, we want to practice." Anytime Tibbs got to tell you to stop practicing,
it's crazy, man. Hell,
that's a lot. That's big time.
Tibbs better get some Coach of the Year votes, man. I know it's probably gonna go to Quinn Snyder, right? But I still want to see Tibbs get some votes. This team was fucking DOA, and now they're a playoff team. Doesn't make sense.
And as a Bulls fan, right, especially of the D Rose Noah Bulls, right, I love to see Tibbs being successful elsewhere, right? I'm always going to cape up for Tom Thibodeau no matter what team he's coaching for. So I love it for Tibbs.
Fair enough. Yeah. And that stint in Minnesota didn't really help his legacy.
But they made the playoffs.
Anyway, transition a bit.
That's the measuring tool. Yeah, that's the measuring.
For Minnesota, it is. The fuck?
For sure. Such a bad team. It's a bad franchise, poverty franchise, as some might say. Okay, it's bad. Okay, it ain't. Look, I'm gonna tell the truth. That's the only thing I can do right now.
That's it.